The return of Bob Iger was the best news Disney could have given shareholders, and the proof is in the Q1 fiscal 2024 results. Let's talk about it. Today, we have an exciting video, Disney's recent performance and what it means for investors. The return of Bob Iger, coupled with some strategic moves, has ignited a buzz in the market. So let's break down the highlights and implications of these results. So to start here, as I just mentioned, Bob Iger, his return seemed to have sparked a wave of optimism among shareholders. So how has his leadership kind of influenced Disney's recent performance and the strategic direction here?
Well, he's put the company back on track. It's certainly lost its direction over the years when he was absent. Him coming back was an emergency move by the board. It was a good call, and it's definitely showing in the results.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a similar story playing out with Disney as we're seeing with Meta, and I'm not comparing the two companies by any stretch, but Meta was talking about concepts like the metaverse and different things, and it just sort of seemed like they had lost their way a little bit. And this year was the return to focus on the core fundamentals, get the company back to profitability, and Disney seems to be doing the same thing right now.
All right, getting into some of the numbers here. Despite weakness in entertainment, Disney's Q1 fiscal 2024 results indicate positive momentum in various other metrics. So how do we interpret this trend, and what does it mean for potential returns for investors?
Well, it's good trends for investors. The sports and experience segments were both up. Entertainment was down, but that's elasticity with higher prices. Growth is expected to return, so I see the company building leverage across its segments.
Now,
yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, Lacey, I was just going to jump in and say, to me, as I was looking through the earnings report, I mean, it really looks like Disney's starting to get to that point where you can call it a sum of its parts business again. They're getting the theme park revenue is back and it's showing growth, especially internationally. You're seeing growth, on the entertainment side. That's the streaming and the legacy cable business. And, I think it's the studio work right now. That's going to be where people are going to be looking at it a little bit, but there might be a little trough there as far as the original content coming out of there. But Disney is starting to return to that. Okay, this is a business where if one side's down, the other side's up, and that might make it a more attractive investment.
Right. The margin news was also good. I didn't mean to skip over that before too, but Iger's cost cutting and Chris's comments getting back on track. He's getting the company back on track to where it can focus on core strengths, get back to growth, and deliver those cash returns to investors.
Yep.
Okay, now Disney quietly resumed its dividend distribution, and they've been kind of aggressive in share repurchases recently, haven't they?
Well, they were aggressive with their dividend increase. They brought it back finally. They just increased it by 50%. They have not been repurchasing shares since 2018, but they've brought that back as well. That's another sign of strength in the company. It's a good confidence builder for the market. I think they're targeting $1 billion in share repurchases the first year. We should expect that to grow by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think the dividend, the reinstitution of the dividend, and then the quick dividend increase, I think to me, that's probably one of the more attractive features of the entire earnings report.
Yeah, it just brings the market back to Disney. They're
Exactly.
not shunning it anymore. It's like now we can go buy some Disney. They're starting to do what it needs to do.
Exactly.
So I want to touch a little bit more on their strategic initiatives for growth here. I'm talking about the sports franchises. They're entering the gaming space with Epic Games. How should investors kind of see these moves positioning Disney for future revenue and their earnings growth?
Oh, these are good moves. I think ESPN has been an underutilized asset for years. Iger's now going to try to expand and build on this brand. I think that it is the premier source for sports content. So they just got to get it out to where the people want to see it. And then with the gaming side, they're leaning into the metaverse, they didn't call it the metaverse, but they're leaning into the metaverse, build a platform. And if you compare this move to what Roblox is doing, Roblox is tracking for $3 billion in revenue. That's worth 3% to Disney right there. So, I mean, that's definitely a good growth strategy, I think.
Okay, well, Disney's recent performance is promising. Are there any other potential challenges or maybe risks that are on the horizon that we as investors should be aware of?
Yeah, I'll jump in here and say, right now, as I look at the earnings report, and this is kind of getting a little bit into the weeds, but there's kind of a race going on in their entertainment division. They've got to get the streaming profitable before the legacy cable business starts becoming unprofitable. Right now, they're on track to do that, but that to me is the story that I want to watch for over the next couple of quarters. Can they get streaming profitable at the same pace they're doing? If they keep on the same pace they're doing, that'll be interesting. If not, the stock may struggle a little bit.
Thomas, do you have anything else to add there?
I mean, the analysts like the news. They're raising the targets. I think they're going to drive this thing into a reversal. Right now, the price action is kind of struggling with some resistance at the top of its trading range. But once we move past that, I think it's going to be a clear road ahead for some sustained rallying.
All right, well, as we wrap up, it's evident that Disney's recent moves have injected excitement into the market here, from Bob Iger's return to strategic initiatives and positive analyst outlook. There's a lot to consider for investors that are eyeing Disney stocks. So we are going to continue to monitor these developments closely. Stay tuned for more insights and analysis right here on MarketBeat's channel. Thanks, guys.